Hello again, my name's Gabe Zolna. Well, this is rather startling. As you may or may not know, the trial for Ray Roth, who murdered Chris Kyle and Chris Kyle's friend in cold blood at Rough Creek Ranch, which is a shooting range. I'm going to attach a link to an article that you're going to find rather shocking, but not necessarily surprising. The title is Evidence Surfaces That Chris Kyle's Killer Was Not Suffering from PSTD, but may have been a terrorist sympathizer. According to this article, Ray Roth had zero combat experience. The article says, let me say that again, he never saw combat or any aspect of traumatic events associated with the combat deployment. Now, while he was in Iraq, he was stationed at atBakad Air Base, and he never left the air base. He never left the air base. According to this article, one of the jobs that he had at the air base was to guard Muslims. And the article talks about a time when he called home and spoke to his dad, and he sympathized with the terrorists that he was guarding. There's also some photographs of Eddie with what appears to be a Muslim-type beard. You want to read this article. It's rather shocking, but again, not necessarily surprising because none of it made any sense. Ray Roth's parents, or his mother, had called Chris Kyle to ask him to help her son, who was dealing, she said, with post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, he couldn't have had it. He never saw combat. But again, according to what is contained in this particular piece of information, he did sympathize and empathize with the prisoners that he was guarding. I'm wondering when the Muslims are going to take credit for having killed Chris Kyle. He was known as the highest scoring sniper in the Corps. He had 160 confirmed kills. I'm pretty much convinced that Ray Roth was converted to Islam. You know, that peaceful, loving religion? Read the article. There's no doubt in my mind that Ray Roth executed Chris Kyle and Chris Kyle's friend because of his record in having killed so many Muslim terrorists. I don't even know why they're bothering to try this guy. They should just take him out and shoot him. But you know who probably has sympathy and empathy for Ray Roth? I believe Barack Hussein Obama has sympathy and empathy. If I'm right, which I am convinced I am right, Barack Hussein Obama was probably pleased and excited when he heard about the death of Chris Kyle, which might explain why he never made much mention of it, didn't attend the service, nothing. This is the commander-in-chief we're talking about. Read the article and tell me what you think. You know what I think.